Welcome to Lions Winter Camp, Virtual Edition. Donna Posont will now lead us in Michigan winter bird identification.
Now, can you tell me, I know this is recorded, so can you tell me, am I in the visual screen?
Yes,
you are.
Am I how I'm supposed to be?
You are perfectly centered.
Oh, so I don't need to touch it. And one more
Well,
question.
I mean, it's kind of coming over your eyebrow. We can't see the top of your hair.
Oh, that's the best part.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
There you go.
I can't hold it up there. Let's see. How about now?
That's great.
Okay. And one more question before I start. Is everybody unmuted, or do they need to unmute to answer? Because I want audience participation.
Well, we have a balance going on. Audience participation also brings background noise. Some people have jaws going on. Some people are talking to their friends and family over their shoulders. But anybody who would like to talk with Donna as she does her bird presentation, go ahead and unmute yourself and or unmute as you choose to.
Let's try it. Let's
shout
try
out to Donna. This is Joanne in Alpena.
Joanne.
Hey.
You remember me?
Oh, no,
Do you remember
no,
me?
unmuted.
Okay.
I know her ex-husband.
Hi, Char. We can hear you.
Okay.
Alrighty then. On that note, shall we get started?
Go ahead.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah,
Tell me the sound quality of this.
it's pretty good.
It's great.
Okay.
It's great.
Well, my name's Donna Posont, and I happen to be blind, and I am passionate about helping blind people understand about the natural world and coming to love nature, and just maybe even a little bit like I do. But one of the things I've done is to start a program at the University of Michigan Dearborn Environmental Center called Birding by Ear and Beyond. And what this program does is helps blind people learn how to identify birds by song. Now, I've been listening to a lot of birding podcasts and reading a lot lately, and it all sounds so visual. And I started getting discouraged, and then I thought, no, wait a minute. This is why we need birding by ear, because blind people can enjoy the birds, not in the same way, but in a different way. We can listen to bird songs. So what I'm going to do mostly today is talk about winter birds. Some of us have yards, some of us don't. Some of us live near parks, some of us don't. So I'm just going to refer to the outside world because I have a yard out there and I can open my door and hear a lot of birds. And right now, the winter birds are really starting to sing. Now, first of all, what is a winter bird? In other words, most birds migrate, but there are some species of birds that have stayed here in Michigan rather than migrate. Why would that be? Or why would a bird choose to migrate?
Go towards the south for warm weather.
It's warmer down south.
Yeah, that's the common answer, and that is not totally wrong and not totally right. So what happens is, it is a lot warmer down there, right? But what is the most important thing that living species need to survive?
Food.
Food. So, as you may or may not know, in the summertime, most birds eat a lot of insects and larvae, caterpillars, which can only be found in Michigan in the summer in their live form, right? So insects either bury themselves, die off, lay their eggs, go away. A huge food source goes away for the birds. So a lot of the birds migrate and they go down South United States, Caribbean, South America, all the way to Argentina, some, because they're looking for a food source. So the birds that have stayed behind are known to me as the winter birds. And these birds have found a way to sustain themselves through the food here in Michigan. So we're going to get started with this first guy, the northern cardinal. Now this guy recently served as a rock star for a lot of your Christmas decorations. And why do you think that is? This is a visual question, but blind or sighted, you need to know this about a northern cardinal.
Because of their colors, maybe? A lot of colors that they have on
What
it?
color is a northern
red.
cardinal? What colors
I
are
don't know.
red?
Probably white.
Bright
Red.
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 I'm holding it
Nice
in my
bright
hand.
red.
Bright red.
Yeah.
I'm putting in my hand. I don't know if you can see it, Kathy. So I don't know how the visual's coming through, but at any rate, a northern cardinal
You
is
have to
bright
hold it.
red.
You have to
Hold
put it on
on,
top of your
red.
head if you want us to see it. There you go. Perfect.
All right, so that's a lot of fun. So the male northern cardinal is bright red. So we use something in birding by ear called mnemonics. Does anybody know what mnemonics is?
It's like short acronyms that you use to help you remember something.
Yeah, that's good. So what I use are, or what I say it is using our human words to describe what the bird is saying. So let's try this cardinal. You don't have to see him, but he's singing. Now, just for example, I'm going to help you out here. So to me, he's saying birdie, 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 or birdie, birdie, birdie. So I'm taking my human words, birdie, 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 and putting it to this bird song. And that's what I call mnemonics. Now, in the bird world, most of the singers are males. But in the northern cardinal world, the male and the female both sing. Now,
Oh, wow.
first week in February is the most exciting time for the northern cardinal because that's when the males tend to break into song. Now, anybody want to guess why that is right now?
Because it's the month of love.
Yes, you got it. This guy's hormones are off the charts and he is feeling love in the air and he wants to mate up. He may have been at the feeder all winter with some other males and other female, but he's singing out his song because he's ready for a female to notice him and settle down and be ready to raise a family or two this coming summer, spring and summer.
Oh, wow.
As I mentioned, in the cardinal world, the female cardinal also sings. So if we could hear a recording of the female cardinal, let's see if we can put some mnemonics to her song.
Hang on, let me make her louder. Hold on.
Something went wrong with her.
Right. She's scared.
Nope, I think I have to share my screen so that the sound will come through correctly.
let's-
Hold on one moment.
Will it be that way with every bird or should we go?
Oh, no, I just have to do it once. Let me just share my
Okay.
screen. And then there's an option here for sound to be integrated better with Zoom.
You are viewing Kathy's screen.
Oh, yay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I heard
Wow.
that
hear
birdie
pretty
birdie in there.
bird.
Did anybody hear the birdie birdie in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
any other words you want to put to the song? I heard it. I'll tell you. I'm going to get us warmed up here. Cheer, 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 cheer. Whit, whit, whit. Let's play the male Cardinal, Kathy. Cardinal, Kathy.
That's
Sound
what them
different?
sounds are I'm
Yep.
hearing outside.
More of the birdie, 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 right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how we.
Well, that would get me up in the morning.
Yeah, and I don't know how close you live to a yard or a countryside, but it won't be long till we'll be hearing that all during the day if we
Right.
get outside, which I greatly encourage. So
I
that
live in an
was,
apartment complex and we have bushes out front of our window and there's all kinds of birds right now starting to come back from the south and starting to come back
Oh,
home.
wow.
they're not really coming back. They've been here all winter, but they're starting to sing. And why are they starting to sing?
Baby.
Love.
It was in the air.
Comedy.
Love is in the air. Yes, they're getting
Oh,
ready
good.
to date
Love,
up,
spring.
getting ready for their families.
Hey, Donna, we have
Right.
a question from Nancy. Nancy has her hand raised. Everybody
Okay,
else is just
Nancy.
jumping in free for all style, but Nancy's trying to raise her hand and be polite. Go ahead, Nancy, unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. Press the button at the bottom of your screen. She doesn't realize she's still talking to a screen. Nancy, you have to unmute yourself. Nancy, on your tablet. Nancy, on your tablet, you have to press the unmute button. Oh, she turned off video, so she's finding her buttons. All right, Nancy, you turned off your video. The button next to it is your
If
sound.
you're blind and you're on a computer, you push Alt-A.
Am I there now?
There we
Yep.
go. Yeah, she's on a tablet.
Okay. To me, it sounded like the cardinal female was saying, sweet, 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 sweet.
Very good. You're getting the idea. Very good. We're going to move on to another technique other than mnemonics. We're going to come back to it. But the second bird we want to learn about is the black cap chickadee. Can you play that recording, Kathy, please?
Yeah.
There it is. So this is what we call a namesayer bird, because the black cap chickadee says its own name. Yes, yay! Chickadee dee dee, chickadee dee dee. And that happens to be the bird's call and not its song. But this is what we call identifying a bird as a namesayer.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was my my clock was going off, and it's a bird. Oh my goodness. So there's something very interesting about these chickadees. There's a lot of things very interesting. They're such a free, fun, frolicking bird, and they're singing now, but they have been using this chickadee-dee-dee all winter because they go around in flocks. We're playing the recording again. Still, there it is. Some of the things they can communicate with this chickadee-dee-dee is, hey guys, there's food over here. Now, if they get a chickadee-dee-dee that's a lot of D's, like chickadee-dee-dee-dee, that might mean there's a bird of prey in the yard, a hawk in the tree, and watch out. So it's very interesting that they can use this call note for a reference to what's happening, and they can communicate with their flock. Now, I have a little chickadee here, and he is not saying chickadee-dee, he is singing his song. And why is he singing his song right now?
Because he's in love.
Now you can hear one on this side of the woods and one on the other side of the woods because the female answers him. And we can put some mnemonics to this song. Let's try it.
Cheeseburger.
Who said that? That's very good. It was really good. So one thing
Oyster, I'm here. I'm here.
Yes, really good. You're getting this mnemonics thing. So I like it to say springtime because I want it to be springtime. And another thing which helps you know what behavior it's doing is, hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. So there you go. So let's talk about a little comparison between the chickadee and the northern cardinal. It doesn't have to do with hearing, but hearing these songs helps us learn more about the birds. It's funny how it works, but it's interesting. So a chickadee is a tiny little bird. I'm not sure how familiar you are with it, but they weigh about 1/3 of an ounce. That's not very big, is it?
Well,
oh my gosh, no.
So compare that with the northern cardinal that we already heard, and it weighs about 5 times that much, about an ounce and a half. So they have some different eating habits. And this time of year, they both love the sunflower seeds from the bird feeder. But the chickadee, being little, these chickadees, they actually are very polite and they will line up and take their turns at the feeder. And they're what we call a snatch and grab bird. And they go to the feeder and they take one sunflower seed, grab it and take it back to the tree, wedge it in their feet, take their pointy beak, open it up, swallow the seed, and the shell drops to the ground. Then they go back in line to go to the feeder again. However, the cardinal, he's a bigger guy, right? And so is the female cardinal. They will actually perch on the bird feeder and take a seed, put it in its mouth. The tongue moves the seed to the side. The cardinal clamps down, the seed goes down the throat, the shell goes on the ground, and he grabs another one. So in the amount of time it took the chickadee to get one seed, the cardinal has 4 or 5 down his throat. So really good for a bigger bird. He has a bigger way to sustain himself, because these birds in the winter need to eat all day long, because during the night they lose a layer of body fat that they've stored up. They can't go 2 days without eating. If they go 2 days and don't eat, they're going to not survive. They have to get out and get food every morning to get this layer of fat so they can survive the night. Does anybody know any other ways they have of surviving the night?
Puffing up their feathers?
Who said that? You really got this. Yes. Kathy. Oh, yes, they can puff up their feathers. They have a couple layers on there. They have a downy layer, and then they have their outside feathers. It's just like if you were to put 2 blankets on your bed instead of 1, and the heat starts rising, and then it gets held in by the layers. Another way they have is doing something called torpor, which is to lower their body temperature. Anybody know the average temperature of a bird? That's a question. Not even Kathy's going to answer that. Okay. 104 degrees, but they can lower their body temperature down 13 degrees. And they can also lower their heart rate. So this uses less of their energy. One more technique to help them survive the night. So we're going to move on now and go back to a bird with mnemonics. This is called a tufted titmouse, though it's not so important you name the bird. Can you see it now, Kathy?
Yes.
Okay, we need some mnemonics for this guy. Let's listen to one of the recordings and see if that helps.
Oh.
He's going to answer. Oh,
I have a second one. Let's see if
my
it
guy
sounds
talks faster. Can anybody give me any mnemonics for that bird sound? Oh, that sounds like somebody's name.
Peter. Yeah, Peter. Yeah, it sounds like that.
Peter. Another thing people say is Chiba. And at the Environmental Center at the university in February, when this guy totally starts singing at the same time as we start tapping the trees for maple sap to turn into maple syrup. So some people say he's saying maple. So it's just another memory aid to help you know when he starts singing and what he's going to sound like. And the guy tends to survive the winter going around in flocks with the chickadees. And the third, which happens to be the white-breasted nuthatch, he also survives the winter by flocking up with the chickadees and the tufted titmouse. And try some mnemonics with him. Do you have the recording, Kathy?
I do.
Wow.
131543079 has joined the meeting.
I'm muted.
It almost sounds like he's laughing.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, it does. He does. Yeah.
And then in there, I also heard the call, which sounds. Yeah, it's really good. You guys are really catching on to this. You could be bird brain. Get out there and help me identify the birds by hearing them.
That sounds like a summer bird.
Yeah, it do. A summer bird.
Another thing he says, I'm not sure that this is a song. His call is, I think we have it in the recording, Kathy, the first one.
Okay.
No.
Good morning, America. Oh.
Hey, Willa. Hello. That's Angie.
So another thing he says, which I didn't hear in that, but his call note is yank, 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 yank. We can all say that all together. Okay, you guys are having way too much fun now.
That sounds like a hootla bird.
Honestly, at my house in January, there it is.
Oh, sounds like a baby.
Thank you.
Yep. Baby bird.
In my yard, the most common bird I heard in January was this guy. So I don't know if he got his he got his love going early or what, but like I said, he travels around in flocks with the chickadees. But also, one of the most interesting thing about the white-breasted nuthatch is that he walks down the tree. Instead of walking up a tree like you'd see a woodpecker or other birds, he always walks down the tree. Anybody know what would be unique about that, or what would benefit this bird to be the only one walking down the tree to survive the winter?
Yeah. A lovebird.
He's a lovebird, yeah.
Is he sneaking
Maybe he's walking down. Maybe he's walking down to get his mate.
Well, he might be, but even more important for survival than a mate is to be able to eat. So as he's down the tree, he takes his little pinky. He takes his pointed beak and sticks it under the top of the bark on the tree trunk. And there he finds insect larvae and eggs and spiders and food that
they said a bird catch the early worm.
Yeah, he finds food that the other birds have missed. So quite interesting. And when he goes to the feeder, he is also a snatch and grab eater. Getting back to the namesayers, let's switch back to the namesayers because I forgot to talk about any other birds we might know as namesayers. So we talked about the chickadee. Can you play the? Can you play one, Kathy? Do I need to say his name? The one I skipped.
Okay. Whippoorwill.
Bird song.
Oh.
Anybody
a
know what
parakeet.
that is?
A parakeet.
Blue jay.
A blue jay. It's another namesayer. It's saying Jay, Jay, Jay. That's another name.
I thought it was a parakeet.
Around here in the winter.
Oh.
Now somebody mentioned whippoorwill. That was really good. They're not around here in the winter, but that indeed would be another namesayer, right?
Yeah.
That makes it easy to remember.
I thought that was a parakeet.
Well, good thinking, but no, we're not going to let our parakeets outside anyway.
Right.
I found another bird, which I consider to be a namesayer.
Excuse me, Donna. What was the last bird? What was the name of it?
The blue jay.
The one that you just got through talking about.
The blue jay. Oh, the white-breasted nuthatch.
The blue jay is the one that's not a parakeet.
The chickadee bird.
This one?
That one.
Blue jay.
That's the blue jay.
Blue jay. It's also
the blue jay.
So I'm going back.
Okay, because I hear those. What about the Bob White?
Oh, good. Perfect. Yes. Bob White. Yes.
Bob White. Who said that?
I have something in my hand that you may or may not be familiar with.
I don't know nothing about bird. Only bird I know is jailbird.
Oh, Lord.
Bird I know.
Like a trumpet.
Are you one?
Can you hear this?
No. I'm a sitting bird.
The name of that. Okay.
Hey, you guys, let's give Donna some respect.
I'm trying to get clarification for the name. I'm trying to get clarification for the name of that bird because it bees outside my house, and I hear it all the time.
Blue jay.
Okay, that's the blue jay.
All right.
Blue jay. I have in my hand is called a trumpeter swan because it's making a noise like a You guys hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to move on to another technique for identifying the birds. And this would be talking about birds that make sounds that don't have to do with their songs or their calls. I'm going to talk about the mourning dove. Is anybody familiar with the mourning dove? It's like a very melancholic, and mourning is spelled M-O-U. I think Kathy's playing it.
Yeah, you can hear that from a long ways away, Donna.
Yep.
You can hear that from a long way, hear that every morning in the summer.
Right, but are they singing now? No, they have not figured out that
Lovebird
here yet. Now these mourning
his
doves,
voice travel a long way.
Guys, can we talk one at a time?
Yeah.
mourning doves are found in all 48 states and Alaska. My sister in Tucson has a pair nesting on her porch. I have them outside my door. But since they're not singing, how do I know they're outside my door? I'm blind. I can't look out there and see them. But yesterday morning, when I opened the door, I heard this sound, and I knew that there were mourning doves flying up off the ground under the bird feeders, because they do like to eat seed off of the ground. Kathy, can you play that song?
Raven? No, not Raven. Mourning dove.
Anybody hear that called a wing whir, and it's at the end of the recording. And it is the wind making a musical sound as it goes through the wing and it takes off. Let's do it one more time, see if you can hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear it.
No, listen. There it is.
Yep.
That's called a wing whir. And when I opened my door yesterday, that sound hit me in the face. So even though I'm blind, and even though the mourning dove wasn't singing yet, I knew there were mourning doves in my yard.
Okay.
Owl. It sounds like an owl too. That's how.
It do sound like an owl.
It
do sound like an owl, don't Jenny?
A mourning owl.
My cats have started to hunt for the birds. They woke up off the sofa and they are starting to look for the birds.
So speaking of birds that make sounds other than their song and call, can you think of any other birds that make sounds and we recognize them by that sound?
A crow.
Woodpecker.
Woodpecker, very good. I have in my hand a little downy woodpecker.
Yeah.
Can we hear
a woodpecker.
Yeah, woodpecker, yep.
A woodpecker.
And Kathy, can you play that song of the Northern Flicker?
Yep.
All right.
Kind of sounds like a car trying to start.
Right, but in the midst of that sound, there was the tapping.
Yeah, like some wood, like a wood piece of wood or something.
Yeah, did anybody hear the tapping?
Yes.
I happen to have one of those guys right here sitting on my head. I'm going to play his song.
What?
Oh, there's a
Why
tap.
is he sitting on your head?
Because Kathy said that's where I need to put him to make him show up in the video.
Poor thing.
Anybody hear that tapping?
Yeah,
No.
Yeah. Now, what is the woodpecker doing when he's tapping?
He's tapping your head.
What's he doing to sustain
Looking
his
for
voice?
food.
He's
tapping your head.
Yes, food, glorious food. The woodpecker taps his beak on the trunk of the tree and makes a hole. Down into the hole goes the really long tongue of the woodpecker. And runs into some insect eggs, a spider, some larvae, a frozen cat.
Yeah, worms, all that.
Back out into his mouth.
And they peck wood too.
Protein. Does somebody need to talk? Okay, so speaking of that tongue that goes way down in the tree and back into the woodpecker's mouth, why don't woodpeckers get headaches with all that rap tap tapping? How do they survive all that noise banging their head on a tree all day?
Do they have jello inside their heads to bounce the brain around?
No, not jello.
They made of wood?
I'm not sure.
No, they're not made of wood.
Oh, they
can't hear?
Well, they can hear.
Lots of air?
Oh, okay.
Lots of air. Boy, lots of good guesses. Can I just tell you? Do you really want to know?
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Why don't woodpeckers get headaches? Well, as they're tapping.
I get a headache too if I bang my head in the tree.
Now, you know that long tongue that goes down into the trunk of the tree and the wood and pulls out the eggs and sustains their life? That tongue actually comes back in their mouth and wraps around the top of their head and comes down onto their forehead. It insulates their brain like a shock absorber.
That's amazing.
Cool? You believe it?
Donna.
Wow.
Donna.
About how long do they live?
Well,
what's their lifespan?
Most birds do not survive their first year.
Would you make me a cup of tea?
Wow. Wow.
No, you want me to make you a cup of tea? Can anybody else think of any birds that make sounds that aren't with their song or their call?
The ruffed grouse.
A crow.
The
A
cat
crow.
bird.
A crow.
You said that,
A
Joanne?
crow, yeah. A crow, yeah. Scarecrow? No.
Really good, a ruffed grouse, because how does a ruffed grouse make a sound?
It drums.
He drums on a log, right?
What's the one that goes, ah, ah?
Yeah, ah, yeah, ah, ah, yeah.
Yeah.
A raven?
It's a blackbird, isn't it?
Like a crow.
That is a
Oh,
yeah.
raven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's try.
Can I ask you a question?
I got a question.
Technique of
Can I ask you a
identifying
question?
birds by sound.
Guys,
Can you
let her
please
finish.
reach out that everybody can hear at the nature center when they get to go?
Yes.
What about a hoot owl?
We're going to save all the questions for the end so that Donna
Okay.
can finish her presentation.
Okay.
Oh, man.
You too, Anthony. Questions for the end.
Hi, Anthony.
Okay. Hello. Come on.
Be good.
I don't know if anybody can hear the screech owl.
I hear it.
It sounds like an office telephone ringing.
It does.
Oh, really good. Who said that? That's
I
really
don't know nothing
good.
about nobody.
Reminds you of a telephone ringing.
911, what is your emergency?
What kind of bird is that?
May I help you, please?
Are there any adjectives or
That bird
words
sounds like he cold.
used to describe that bird song?
Well,
He
bird
sounds
song,
like he's
yeah.
cold. He sounds like he's
Yeah.
real cold, like he's shaking.
Sounds like he's cold,
Yeah.
like he's shivering. Oh, that's really
Yeah.
Yeah, he's shivering cold.
Yeah, like he's cold.
Yeah.
good.
I don't know what kind of bird that is. Bird
That's
song, huh?
Eerie or eerie?
It does sound like a telephone as well.
Yeah, that's really good.
What's that?
So these, you're getting it. You're seeing how we use these bird songs
Bird song, yeah.
and we put our own words to them, or we put our own adjectives to them, or we say sounds like, and this is a memory aid. This is what we call a memory aid. So when you're outside, you hear that sound, this is one more way that it helps you remember what bird that was. If you care to name the birds, I don't even think it's that important to name the birds, but just the familiarity of the birds around where you live or in a park. It's really a musical adventure.
So I got some sugar in there.
Why doesn't a butterfly have a sound?
You have to ask God that.
They can fly for one thing.
That's not in my tool chest.
Be inside a cocoon. If be inside a cocoon, that's why.
Let's listen to the last bird, the Cooper's hawk, and see if we can come up with.
Donald bird, blackbird.
That sounds like a willow. That's a willow bird.
Willow? A willow?
No,
willow.
that's a Cooper's hawk.
A
who?
Cooper's hawk.
What do you call them?
A Cooper's hawk.
It sounds like one that be in the jungle.
Yes.
A jungle bird.
Like a monkey to me.
Oh, who said that?
Yeah, that sounds like a monkey.
That sounds like a miniature monkey.
Well,
Yeah,
that
it
is
sound like
a
a
really
monkey.
good memory aid. I
Sound
was
like
going to tell you that the first time I heard this bird, I
Flamingo?
was sitting at a camp, and I'm like, what is that? That sounds like a monkey up in the trees.
Yep.
Yeah?
It might be a hyena. Not a hyena. A flamingo?
I've got one more hawk in my hand now. If you're going to have to be quiet to hear this guy. I'll stick him on my head.
Oh, actually, he's too high. Can you put him in front of your face? There we go.
Well, why didn't you say so? You didn't want to see my face.
But my mama won't. I'll take y'all downstairs.
It sounds like a man whistling at a woman.
Oh, my. This this happens to be a red-tailed hawk, and he's another bird of prey that sits out in the trees in the yard and watches the bird feeder. And he uses the bird feeder as his bird feeder because he can go snatch and grab a little bird that's eating there. Sounds good.
Whoa.
Whoa. Was that a red?
What was that?
Yeah, that's off of eBird from Cornell.
So can we put some mnemonics to this that'll help us understand the behavior of the hawk also?
Hello.
Anybody want to try to add some words to this guy?
He sounds like he in pain.
Right. Or somebody scared. Or somebody scared him.
I'm going to say what I say.
Why?
I'm going to say, watch out. That's what I use to remember that he's a bird of prey and he's going to go after those little birds at the bird feeder. That gives you more information to help remember the bird. So I'm just about done here, but I can't be done without letting you know what bird I've been hearing all day long the last few days outside my door.
What's that?
And this
a
is
blackbird.
And I don't expect you to know what it is, but we'll try to figure out a way to remember its song because I can't think of mnemonics.
A woodpecker. No.
I don't recognize him.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, this happens to be a house finch.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if anybody can put any mnemonics to this. I don't know how.
It sounds like a chirper. Like
the
he
one
chirping.
thing I know about the house finch is he's related to the American goldfinch, and his sound is similar to that, except there's a buzz at the end of it.
13137212077 has joined the meeting.
Here's an American goldfinch.
Yep, I can tell.
I don't hear him.
Me neither.
Can't hear it?
He fell out the window.
Hi, this is Walisa Benson. My phone was muted.
Hey, Walisa.
Hey, I just got on. I couldn't get on.
Oh, man.
Oh, we're sure sorry about that.
I'm sorry, I missed
So
it.
you might be able to hear it later.
You're late.
What you say? Huh?
You're late.
For the bird watching. This Angie.
Bird watcher.
Hey,
We're doing
Angie.
the bird watch.
Hey.
Hey guys, we're still listening for Donna's show here. Can we
We're
hold
almost
the
done. Are you
conversation?
playing an American goldfinch? Is that the American goldfinch?
Yes. Yeah, from All About Birds.
One more time. Let's get this song in our heads. And here's the contrast. This bird that's singing outside now is related to the American goldfinch, and it sounds similar,
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
It sounds similar, but there's a buzz towards the end of its song. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear it in this situation, but we'll do our best. Anybody hear that buzziness towards the end? No?
Here, I can play the house finch here. Let's see if it's
I just couldn't go without mentioning that he has really been singing.
I'm back on. I'm on virtual camp still. Oh.
Hello?
Really? Yes.
Is that the?
That's the house finch.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
That's what it sounds like when I open my back door. That's what my back door is sounding like. So why is that house finch singing so much right now?
They're eating out of a bird feeder.
He's getting ready to mate?
Yeah, he's eating out of the bird
What about
feeder.
the-
He's been doing that. So love is in the air. He's getting
Red Robin.
kicking in, and he's singing a loud song.
Robin's not a winter bird.
Yeah, you about the red robin?
Willa. No one said nothing about a robin.
Right now, we're comparing the house finch to the American goldfinch.
Well, that pretty much oh, guess what? I just came up with another technique for learning bird songs, comparing one species to another. We compared the American goldfinch to the house finch. Their songs are very similar, but the house finch has a buzzy sound at the end of it. So one more technique for doing birding by ear. So just because we're blind, do we think that we can still learn what bird songs sound like?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Do I have some takers? So I want to let you know there are several ways you can learn about bird songs. One of these days, we're going to do in-person bird walks again. And I realize that you live all over the place. So wherever you live, there's parks near you. There's the Audubon Society, and every local Audubon group has bird walks. And next weekend, I must mention, is called the Great Backyard Bird Count. Now, for the last several years, we've been meeting in person, either at Camp T or another camp, and identifying the birds that we hear by sound and sending our information into Cornell Lab of Ornithology. And we have been citizen scientists. So this year, we're all on our own. We won't be grouping up to do that. But if you'd like to go outside next weekend, anytime, for 15 minutes, and identify some birds by sound, you can send your information into Cornell and be part of the Great Backyard Bird Count. So that pretty much concludes what I have to say. Do you have any questions?
I have a question as well as Justice. I have a question.
Okay, let's.
Can you hear me?
What's your name?
How often do you hear turkeys? Do you hear them in the wood, or do you turkey or chicken?
I have heard turkeys more when I was at the Environmental Center. My neighbor told me last summer that there was a nest of turkeys in between our houses, but I have not heard them in the woods since I've been at the university. Not by myself, but I have heard them, but not often.
I have a question.
What's your name?
Angela.
Yes, Angela.
Okay, first you got to promise me you won't laugh at me, okay?
Can I make it sound like it?
Why does a turkey have wings and he can't fly?
Because they're too big.
Well, that's a really good question. First of all, a turkey can fly. A turkey can fly up to 50 miles an hour. Turkeys roost in trees, so they have to be able to fly up the tree to get in a tree.
Fly.
So turkeys can fly. So that answers your question.
Oh, they can't as big. So as big as they have them in the stores, you know, like at Thanksgiving and Christmas time, they're not that big, are they?
Turkeys' wings are pretty big. I actually have a dozen turkeys at my house, and these turkeys wander around the fields. But like if I'm driving up the road and there's turkeys in the road, they don't fly away.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to hurt them. So So, but you bring up a really good point, Angela. Not all birds can fly. So, for example, anybody know what the largest bird on Earth is?
A rooster. No, I don't know.
Flamingo.
Flamingo.
Close. How about an ostrich?
Ostrich?
Ostrich. Oh, yeah.
Right.
But an ostrich can't fly, and why do we think that is?
Their legs are too long.
Too big.
Heavy. His wings are too small to take his big body up in the air.
Right.
So not all birds do fly, but turkeys do fly.
But do they all have, but even though they can't fly, do they all still have wings? For some apparent reason?
Birds have wings, and actually birds are the only group of living organisms that have feathers. So
this is Marion Ward. I wanted to ask you a question. Hi, how are you? Okay, what is this bird does 2 or 3 different sounds? It signals from one bird to a tree to another tree, and they have like a hissing sound, like, and then they go oink, oink, like that. And then they got this long, what is that bird?
Wow, you're giving me a challenge.
That's like a flamingo, isn't it?
No, it's not a flamingo. No,
No, it's not a flamingo.
It's more in the summertime than it is in the winter. They signal from one to the other, and then they do about 2 or 3 different sounds. Hissing sound. Then they do like a long.
Larry, does a pigeon make like 3 different sounds?
Toot, toot. What about the bird go?
Larry,
Huh?
does a pigeon?
I think you might be talking about a blue jay because he makes a lot of different sounds, and he's
what kind
No,
of
it
bird
didn't sound like no blue jay. This is a.
makes
Would
a
it be a
hiss?
I'm not sure.
hummingbird, maybe?
Yeah.
what?
No, I'm not really sure what it is, but it makes about 2 or 3 different sounds. It's more like in the summertime. They signal to each
I'm
other.
not sure either, but if you get a recording of it in the summer and you want to record it and call me up, we'll try to figure it out.
Okay.
So, I mean, most birds have many songs and many calls. Like the northern cardinal, they have like 40 different songs.
Wow.
A brown thrasher has 1,000 different songs. Does anybody know what a northern mockingbird is?
Yeah.
How about they have lots of songs because they imitate a lot of other birds. So it's really funny you say that because I have had people call me up and describe bird sounds to me. One time a lady from Iowa called me and described a bird to me, and I actually figured it out, but that is really challenging. But if you want to cover with the recording, I'll like to help you out.
Why doesn't a butterfly make any type of sound?
Because they're in a cocoon.
As I was saying before, you have to ask God about that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm not going to question him.
Good answer.
I just want to thank everybody for listening and participating. You guys were getting all wound up with those bird songs.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Real nice.
Donna, thank
Yes.
you so much.
I'll be paying more attention to the birds now.
Yep, I
If you
will.
have any questions,
I'm
have
scared of 'em.
contact information. And
Good
seriously,
job,
when
Donna.
summer comes, I'll try to help you figure out some birds. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Donna.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
guys.
interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Roger, you've got the floor. I'm going to mute everybody. We're going to do a nice start over.
Good.
Amen.
Okay.
Oh, I muted Roger too. Roger, yeah, I muted you accidentally. You're going to have to unmute.
That's all right. Found it.
There you go.
So yeah, that was great. And Donna, you haven't been to winter camp, but one of the favorite things that we do as an outdoor activity is go to a bird cabin, which is a little house out in the woods, and they have bird feeders all around it. And they have microphones on the bird feeders so that when the birds come in to feed, we can hear the bird songs while we're sitting inside in a relatively warm place, at least out of the weather. And it's interesting because the biggest complaint we have about that is that people like to talk and they can't hear the bird songs. And so we did a pretty good job here today. I think we got a little wound up towards the end, but anyway, that was a great presentation and very interesting. And Donna, maybe if you have information like a website or some way that people could contact you, if you can send me that, we can send it out to the campers, if that'd be okay.
I think I've been muted, so I think I was talking to myself.
Oh, you're not muted now.
So yeah, I know. Here I am. Yes, I'll send you something about that. And also, if you invite me next year, I'd love to come to that cabin and listen to the birds and try to help people figure out what we're hearing.
Well, mark this weekend. Mark the first weekend in February. That's when we
I'll
do
mark
it.
this weekend if you can make sure we can meet in person.
Well, I hope we can. So, all righty.
Thank
well,
you.
we're gonna
I hope
do.
that's what you were looking for, Roger.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
That's
It was
awesome.
perfect. Yes. So we're going to do another spin, and then we're going to go to our talent show.
Spin, spin, spin.
So imagine
Willa.
the Wheel of Fortune.
Willa
that's
is
what
our
this thing
next
looks like.
winner. And then we have Jackie and Bob Furtado. Kay Cornwell. And John Sleater. And Jessica Dale. One more. Here we go.
That's me.
Joanne Pilarski.
Yay.
Those are our winners for this session.